Our main story today is the drama within the ODM party now that Raila Odinga gave direction for members of that party to stop campaigning for Ruto for the 2027 presidential election. I am your host Max Ugola and this is the Civic Lens. Before we delve into our main story, let's take a look at SHA, which has been in the public limelight for wrong reasons. SHA has been blamed for unsustainability, fraud and failure. And this week, SHA is back in the limelight because it has been declared by the directors of this particular authority that they will not be taking care of police officers and teachers. This move is coming shortly after 10,000 teachers aligned themselves in a long queue within the premises of State House to receive 10,000 shillings each. The empowerment or the conversation between the teachers and the president has not been fully criticized, and yet there is now a new revelation that this Ministry of Health move to shift from the National Health Insurance Fund to the Social Health Authority that gave rise to the Social Health Insurance Fund is not going to take care of teachers and police officers. Now, before we go into the reasons that the government is giving for not taking care of police officers and teachers under this cover, let us just look at the weight of this statement. Police officers are individuals that are charged to maintain law and order in Kenya. As much as there could be extensive hate towards the police officers that come from the youth after how they handled the demonstrations in 2024 and earlier this year, the police officers still remain the only ambit of government that is charged with maintaining law and order internally. Now, in their everyday dealing of maintaining this law and order, police officers face threats of all kinds. Imagine chasing a criminal who has a gun who turns out and shoots at a police officer, or quelling a protest where stones are thrown and the stone hits a police officer, or going to arrest people who are selling illicit brew and the contents that make that brew are thrown to police officer. This just shows you some of the instances that these officers face on a daily. Their lives are threatened on a daily. They even have a different hospital that takes care of them, because of the nature of threats that they receive from the public daily. So the National Police Service is a service that is established on threat. Then there are teachers. There are teachers who work on hardship areas. There are teachers who work in places like Mandera that are now dominated by alien forces. Or there are other teachers who work on border areas that have border threats issues in Kenya. There are teachers who work in extreme conditions because schools are diversified across all parts of Kenya. So we have teachers who teach in banditry infested areas where their lives could be in threat at any moment. Now, the Social Health Authority Fund or the Social Health Insurance Fund will now not take care of these teachers and these police officers. The reason they are giving is that teachers and police officers are often covered in different schemes that led to actually a falling of the NHIF. And let's look at this. You see, now teachers and police officers have a particular health scheme that is very heavy independently. For teachers themselves, their medical health scheme is around 20 billion Kenyan shillings annually. For police officers, their medical health scheme is around 8.9 billion Kenyan shillings annually. Now, this particular amount is not under the funding of the government currently because as long as the police officer or the teacher gets sick, they're supposed to fund themselves from their cash in pocket. The reason they are saying is because the police officer medical scheme and the teacher's medical scheme is taken care of under an ambit called the Medical Administrative Kenya Limited. And these individuals are blamed for failing to remit these finances to the defunct NHIF, which led to the fall of that particular funding scheme. So the directors of SHA, Rufan and SHA, have come out clearly to say that they want teachers and police officers onboarded on this new medical scheme when they are on a clean slate, and they do not want teachers and police officers onboarded on this new scheme when there are still areas that are left unpaid to hospitals under the previous scheme. So essentially, this particular group of directors are calling upon the Medical Administrators Kenya Limited to settle every arrears that is owed as a result of the teacher scheme and the police scheme previously to the hospitals before their contract comes to an end on 30th of November this month, and until full settlement is made is when now taking care of, or medical coverage for teachers and for police officers will be onboarded under SHA. Now, this move has been taken negatively and positively across the board. Let us know what you think on it in the comment sections. But teachers are saying that this move selectively puts them out, yet they are the highest employees under the Public Service Commission. Police officers are also saying that the nature of their work is embedded on threat. And so if they are thrown to these threat-prone areas, and yet they still have to cover for themselves from the meager resources that they receive from the government in terms of salary, then this move does not put to place their interest. The government, through the directors of SHA, have held their ground, saying that SHA will only take care of teachers and police officers once all the arrears that the Medical Administrative Kenya Limited, or Medical Administrators Kenya Limited, has cleared all the arrears that they owed to the hospitals. So until the end of this year, SHA will not be taking care of teachers and police officers. Now, that story aside, let's head to our main story today, which is the drama within the ODM party. Is Raila Amolo Odinga, the party leader, speaking from two sides of his mouth? This is a question that we are asking at the Civic Lens, and our analysis will guide you towards arriving at the answer that you will make for yourself. Now, Raila has been seen supporting or backing up the current position of the ODM when it comes to their memorandum of understanding with the UDA government. So on one side of his mouth, or when he speaks, Raila supports the government and the arrangement that exists between his party and the government currently. But on the other side of his mouth, when Raila speaks, he speaks as if he is siding with the sentiments of the like of Sifuna, who feel like they are not going to be in ODM if ODM decides to front a candidate or to rally behind Ruto as the candidate in 2027. ODM is celebrated as the party that has survived over 4 elections consecutively without forming or morphing into other parties, as it celebrates its 20 years in existence consecutively fronting a candidate in every general elections. For those 4 elections, there is now drama that is arising within that party. If you look at the ODM party right now, it is divided between 2 factions. There is the current faction that supports Raila Odinga's backing of the government. This faction is full of the government critics previously who have now become full government experts. That's the like of the current CS for Treasury, Honorable Mbadi, the CS Honorable Oparanya, the CS Honorable Wandai, and CS Honorable Joho. This, among other members of the party, have been known for previous occurrences as the individuals that supports the party policies and are anti-government if the government really do not foster the policies of the party. With the coming of the Kenya Kwanza government, we saw these 5 experts being subsumed into the UDA government, a move that actually silenced their voices completely when it comes to advocating for party policies. So in one end, there are supporters of this move, the likes of the CSS, Raila Odinga himself, and certain supporters of the ODM party who feel like the move to join the UDA party was the good move. Then on the other end, there are individuals who feel like ODM has been known as the voice of the opposition, standing with the people when the government hurts them. And so the move to join the government really creates a vacuum for the opposition area, and also blames or faults the ODM party for being the voice of the people, now come the voice that has united with the oppressor against the people. And so there is a group of cliques within the ODM party, including the Secretary General of the party himself, the Saboti Member of Parliament Caleb Amisi, the Kitutu Church South Member of Parliament Anthony Kibagendi, and the likes within the party that feel like ODM should not at any moment unite with the Ruto government that does not uphold the constitution. These 2 factions have left one individual in the center for a lot of times. Raila Odinga has been trying to stretch his ends on both sides. On the side that backs up the government, Raila has been quoted severally saying that a collapsed state is not an alternative to power. And so when the demonstrations headed towards taking Kenya to a collapsed state, it was within the ODM party mandates to come up and save the government and save the nation from such collapse. As a result, they got into a memorandum of understanding with the current government to ensure that the 10-point agenda was met so that the country does not go down to the dogs. Raila has supported his position, including in his recent address to the members, the parliamentary meeting of members of ODM, where he called the CS for Treasury to come and confirm the position that the move to join the government was to save the economy and the government and not to hurt the party. On the other hand, Raila has also been seen trying to support the defectors, or rather the individuals that feel dissatisfied with the move to join the UDA through the Memorandum of Understanding. And on this end, Raila yesterday was quoted saying that, who has told you that ODM will not front a candidate in 2027? Who has told you?
Stand for what is right for the party and look at what we have signed. And we must remain as ODM. And we've signed and agreed that we'll work together up to 2027. We have not passed any resolutions as a party to say how we're going to go into the elections of 2027. So wherever you are, don't commit the party to some things which have not been discussed. Let those things be discussed first. We are ODM. Who's told you that ODM will not have a candidate in 2027? Who has told you? So first, think as ODM. We have a clear plan that we have negotiated and we've agreed on, and let us continue to implement that plan. Other decisions we'll take when the time comes. Finally, first, I want to thank Mbadi for bringing out some of the issues. Like he talked about selling some.
So there are current moves, or rather you could say there's a political arrangement within the ODM party, this other faction that Raila is joining now, that wants the arrangement with the Ruto over with come 2027, and that want ODM to front a candidate after 2027 to maintain its longevity of over 20 years in politics. So Raila is saying that, who has told you that ODM is not going to front a candidate in 2027? And in the same spirit, Raila is calling upon his MPs, his experts and supporters of the party who are championing for Ruto post 2027 to stop, because the party has not said that is their position. In his statement, Raila also broadly explained the exit strategy from the Memorandum of Understanding, showing that there could actually be plans to exit the ODM party from the Memorandum of Understanding and from their arrangement with the UDA party. Now, why would Raila be at this crossroad right now? You see, the move by this section of individuals who feel like ODM should not be within the UDA, including the Senate of Nairobi, Edwin Sifuna, the Member of Parliament for Embakasi East, Babu Owino, the Member of Parliament for Kitutu Chache South, Anthony Kibagendi, and the Member of Parliament for Saboti, Honorable Kaliba Misi, shows a disinterest with the young population of the ODM members of Parliament from the support that the party is currently giving the government. And Raila has to tap into this particular population within its own party arrangement itself, and largely within its own party supporters, to ensure that the ODM party does not lose the youthful nature within it that could ensure its longevity come 2027 and beyond. At the same time, Raila has had these supporters that have stood by him come rain, come sunshine for quite a number of years. And when he's in government, he feels like they need to be rewarded, and they have been rewarded. The likes of Oparanya, Joho, Wandai, Mbadi, and Joe Ager, Professor Makau Mutua, Professor Adam Solo, all these people that have previously advised Raila Odinga and solidified the position of the ODM are now currently working for the government under the UDA arrangement. And on that end, Raila has also to maintain their interest. Whatever is happening is that there is a deflation of the party as a result of this. The party is getting deflated ahead of 2027. Unity within the party is swindling, and the powers that the ODM party used to enjoy, could be said with the line of these by-elections, are going down. Let's take a look at Gusii region, for example. Recently, there was a contestation while Gladys Wanga was chairing a party meeting within the ODM chambers. And there was a contestation between the Deputy National Party Leader, Simba Arati, and the National Treasurer, Mr. Timothy Bosibori, on the fronting of candidates for by-election in Gusii area. Now, Gusii area forms part of the Nyanza region that has been a backbone of the ODM party for quite some time. But Simba Arati and Bosibori Timothy almost exchanged blows because Simba Arati was blaming Bosibori for poisoning the ground for the ODM party. Simba Arati was saying that as a deputy national party leader, he is charged by the mandate to deliver the 3 by-elections that are currently ongoing in Gusii region for the party. These are the by-elections in North Mugirango, the by-election in Borabu, and the by-election in West Mugirango. But he blames the national treasurer for the party, Mr. Timothy Bosibori, for poisoning the ground in favor of Matiang'i, who also hails from that region. So it could be said that even Nyanza, that forms the backbone of the ODM party right now, is in loggerheads when it comes to who really needs who really needs to rule the region. As Nyanza is battling with this, other political elites like Matiang'i, Maraga is coming out of that very backyard of the ODM party and of Raila Odinga, and these are things that they need to deal with. But they cannot deal with this sufficiently if the ODM party is in government, because all these other elites are coming to beat the very government that the ODM party has been known for holding accountable since time memorial. So you're seeing backgrounds, or rather political backgrounds that were affiliated to ODM going away. ODM currently does not have a candidate in Narok Town ward where a by-election is going to be held, and the previous person holding that position was an ODM candidate. ODM candidates are not in Muragini constituency, where we are going to see a by-election recently. ODM candidates are not fronted in any of the Nyamira by-elections that we are going to witness in 27th of November 2025. And so this shows you that even in the strongest points of ODM is losing grip. And the loss of grip is even witnessed internally, with now this section of MPs allied to Babu Owino and Sifuna forming the Kenya Moja movement as a result of their detestation to Raila Odinga joining hands with William Ruto. And so it was sufficient for Babaman to come out clearly and say that he does not have a plan to sustain this relationship he has with Ruto post 2027, because such a speech coming from him validates the position of the Secretary General and maybe brings back confidence that has been lost by certain individuals to the party. The party is deflating ahead of 2027, but the party is holding very solidly that it's still early and the party might front its own candidate come 2027. But before that, with the by-elections that the party would have used as a testing ground ahead of 2027, it's either losing popularity or failing to front candidates in places that it had previously held. Now, the ODM party has come out with a clear strategy to reassess themselves and exit from the memorandum of understanding should Ruto fail to meet the 10-point agenda that they agreed upon, stating clearly that they got into this arrangement, but that does not mean that they are powerless within it. This is the Civic Lens.